Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and it's Harvest Festival day, so I just got the car loaded up. It's in the 50s Fahrenheit and definitely breezy, so I don't know what type of crowd we're gonna get today, but regardless, for a first festival, I think I got it done and maximized my capacity. I'm telling you, if you've never had a Volvo wagon, one of these cross countries, this thing's 18 years old. It tows all my stuff. Got the roof rack. I got some ladders up there for stacking the spider plants that have all the little babies coming down. So, got our white spruce, some agapanthus, and some random seasonals here. Agapanthus, some dwarf agapanthus, something cool. Got our potted spruce. The Rose of Sharon have looked better. But you know, that's kind of how they start to look this time of year anyways, when they start dropping their leaves. Got the trunk full. Lots of house plants, some pencil cactus, some of these down east cider house growlers that we like to use as vases. We just have a lot of them because I like to drink cider. And various pots that I probably will never use again. You know, when you have tons of babies from seed, those little terracotta pots work great. And after that, your plants graduate. So, got a little 3 or 4 foot ladder and a 6 foot ladder. I think that'll work well with the mighty spider plants. So yeah, all packed up. Actually even have the Jeep, because that's what Laura's going to be driving in case it's too cold for her and the baby and they want to take off. And I have one more thing in the Jeep. So that's it, y'all. So I'll see you over at the festival, because that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, y'all. So it's actually 11 days after. Hey, steady. Days after the filming of that intro, where I was going to the Fall Harvest Festival, or the Harvest Festival, and it went well. It was terrible weather, but I gotta tidy up my little coin collection. But sold a little bit of everything. Really popular items were the. Yes, I am a coin collecting geek as well. Anyways, but most of the items, like, they kind of were spread out what everybody purchased. But the spider plants, hey baby, the spider plants and the little baby jades that were in bonsai pots, like literally just little starter cuttings. I just prune these back, but they were very popular. So I know for future, so it was a good tester. It was pretty much the worst possible weather for a New England festival. It was overcast, extremely windy, to the point where people's tents were flipping and breaking all over the place. Luckily, I'm low budget, so we didn't have a tent, so we didn't have to worry about that. My phone actually died when I was filming the layout that I had set up. So I think Laura got some pans of it, shorter videos I might attach to this. But overall, it was a success. It was fun. It's been 11 days. I have a new Samsung S22. So for all of the complaining I've done for 4 years about not having enough memory, my phone shutting off, terrible clarity, sound, you name it. If you've been hanging out with the channel as it's been growing, you know that that's probably my worst trait, is the low tech and terrible phone. So now, unfortunately for you, I can ramble on because I have 4 times the memory that I had before. So instead of a 13-minute video, I could probably do like close to an hour, but I won't do that to anybody. So I'm going to give you like a little bit of update around the ranch today, just kind of show you the new setup with bringing my tropicals, subtropicals inside, because here in New England in the US, we're getting into autumn, and we've had one night drop to 39 already Fahrenheit, so that's closer to freezing. So anything under 50 sustained, you really want to get tropicals and subtropicals out of there. So I got a nice, neat setup in here. I have some Delonix Regia and blue Jacarandas that I'm going to work on, or just give you the update on that I have worked on. Because what was I supposed to do for the 11 days between getting a new phone? It was Laura fighting with Verizon, then Laura fighting with T-Mobile, then Laura going to T-Mobile and finally accomplishing the mission. It was ridiculous, but luckily she stuck with it. So, yeah, that's it. So, I'm going to get these Delonix set up. We'll take a little tour outside, kind of see how everything is at, and come inside, do a little tour, and then we'll get to pruning my first ever yarn wired bonsai. That was a total fail. So, separate intro, but that is what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai.
Try their best to stay alive in my care.
All right, so cheers, y'all. Got a nice little down east hard cider from Boston. So, pretty much most of the world, I swear, this year has had a drought during summer. And so I wasn't really feeling the effects too badly, other than, you know, the annoyance of having to water more than normal. But this one actually isn't that bad. There's some yellowing on that Norwegian spruce, a little bit on the blue spruce, but up here, I'm like, what the hell? So this guy on the left does not look good. And this is recent. This is since it got chilly, so I don't know if it's the long-term results of the drought. I don't know if it's actually, I think that right there is a sign of some sort of boring, murderous creature. So that might be what's going on. I think it's only been in that pot for 2 years. And, you know, it's the needles that are like further up on the branch, not necessarily the end, that look terrible. So I don't know, relatively you deal with that a little bit each year, but I don't know, that one's rough. I have to think about it. Y'all let me know what to do. See, this guy doesn't look that bad. A little bit of yellowing, but not too bad. And then these are like the two prize ones that we decorated with Christmas lights to kind of show off what people could do with the white spruce trees at the Harvest Festival. And I was actually surprised these didn't sell, but basically it was the worst possible weather day here. You see the fall foliage. See, if you're from here, like, this is cool, but you don't really think about it, and then people travel thousands of miles to get it, so I might as well show it to you. So the fall foliage is kicking in, but anyways, the Harvest Festival was fine. Like I said, weather was terrible, but made some good sales, met some good people, and it was a good tester for my first festival. It definitely reiterated to myself, because my goal with growing the tree farm, the 500 original white spruce trees I started with, was to sell to a high-end nursery or landscaper kind of like one fell swoop, not individually, and not for cutting down for Christmas trees. That's why they're in sandbags. So yes, putting in a lot of work, loading and setting up and talking to people and dealing with all that, selling one tree at a time. It's definitely not a long-term goal for me, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't, you know, I'm not the best in public, but we may do. So you see the Fraser fir filled out relatively nicely this year. Next year we're probably going to eliminate some branches and start creating some mature pads, taking it away from the actual Christmas tree design and bringing it to like a fun Japanese garden tree design. Yeah, you see I have made very little progress with the greenhouse. I got some of these little supports in there, and I've basically chosen that I'm going to do some sort of polyplastic type of deal. Have it come down, roll it up to here, and on really cold days maybe roll it all the way down. And then once I get, those are some rows of Sharon and maples, trident maple there. Once I get this full, I will fill in around the pots with some bark mulch just to increase the warmth on the roots. And we'll put a space heater in there, so the goal is to keep it at 32 degrees or higher Fahrenheit, above freezing, so I can put like agapanthus and less cold hardy maples and black locusts and things of that nature in there. So those are the white spruce. The ones that I came home with, I popped in here. So it's really nice and full now. I'm gonna fill in the gaps with some mulch, like I said, to protect the roots on these. And we've got some nice ones. There's another maybe 300 in that garden, which, because it takes an extra length of hose, I'm thinking of using this front part of the garden as the back and then moving everything, boom, so it kind of like starts here. And then we'll just have like the chickens, fruits, vegetables, trees, everything kind of enclosed, easier to water, maintain. Yeah, so that's another project coming up. You see, even in the bonsai side of things, that the fall colors, autumn colors are here. So that's some Zelkovas. That's a mini Australian Shepherd, Millie. The redwoods are starting to turn, which I'm thinking, I originally thought they were coastal redwoods, but after reading, those do not shed their needles. So more than likely, it's a dawn redwood, which it's a little more cold hardy and it drops its needles. So that's interesting that within the same species you got one that does and one that doesn't. I'm not sure that it has to do with temperature zones and such like that. So we got sugar maples are turning, birch is turning, nice little grouping, and the grass is greened up. I just, thank God, finally sold that mower, the most problematic mower ever, always breaking down on me. A little too slow, a little too small for this property, so I'm upgrading this year, and it was just nice to get rid of it because it was like every time I would mow, I would think about how it may not start or what I should do to do a little preventative maintenance before I mowed again. And that's just not fun to me. I want to sit down, crack open a cider or a beer, turn the key, it starts every time. You put gas in it, you put oil in it, and it runs. That's what I want. So, look at that hickory. Oh my gosh, I love you. So yeah, outside started to shrink in numbers. I started bringing in some of them, so I condensed here. Got Zelkovas, little Japanese maple, Rosa Sharon's turning. We're getting our berries on our Jim Dandy winterberry. Some black locust. You see all the leaves are turning. Our Japanese maples down here. Are also speckled? I don't know. They look healthy. There's new buds there. Maybe that's just how they go into dormancy, Maybe. Wow, this one is not a happy camper. Ridge dry. It was pouring here. You know what? Black locusts can be just finicky. I'm not worried about it. Whatever. Want to add a prune. Yeah, that's fine. We got our trident maples. Well, let's see. That is, I can't remember what you are. Viburnum, a white flowering viburnum. Has never flowered, but that's what it is. Japanese maples, trident maples, trident maple pots that the trident maples didn't make it. Trident maple, Japanese maple. All right. So that's a long enough update. You kind of get the gist of it. Missed y'all. If you didn't miss me, that's all right. You won't hurt my feelings. But I'm going to let's take you through the house right now. I'll kind of show you the Delonix and the Blue Jacks and the ones that we're going to work with or have worked with. So stand by. All right, so one of the ones we're going to work on, I got to it a little too late, and I had never wired, but I thought, you know what, this Delonix is in a small pot, so why don't we go for it? So at the time, I basically just hooked it around and tried to get it to start coming back and up, and all of this has died. And I basically wired it up like, I don't know, total rookie. And Sue, my friend who had said she used yarn, she didn't mean it like this at all. And she's like, yeah, you got that wrong, buddy. So anyways, everything passed right here where it has actually continued to grow. This is all dead. So we're going to be getting rid of the yarn and the dead parts here. So basically we're just going to have like an upward hook and then straight apex. So who knows what we'll do with it in the future. You having fun, baby? Always doing something, this one. Okay, so there's that one. Here we have an avocado with, I think, 6 or 7 Delonix. And I accidentally left these guys out the night that it dropped down to 39. So as you see, some of them took it hard. They're dropping needles, but I'm confident they'll be all right. We have our oldest standing bonsai that I've been told is a blue jack, but it grew in the Delonix Regia pot, so I call it a Delonix Regia. You got that irregular trunk, regular upright, and it's really done well this year. It used to grow just incredibly leggy and very little branching. Oh, that's where I left my cider. All right, double fisting. So anyways, it was growing a lot more leggy, and now this is pretty much all of summer and early autumn growth, and I really like the canopy with the height. That came inside. This one, this is, you see all of the leaflets falling off. This is the same generation or the same, they were grown the same time as the one I sent out to Ian, Bonsai J, and Nigel. And I've seen some really cool progress with theirs. And this one is just awesome. It really does stay short and has that nice canopy. I haven't had to prune it too much. They usually just want to shoot straight up. So that's been a nice little change. You see it's kicking its leaves off. There's the bougainvillea just came inside from my buddy Matt Brennan. A new geranium species. I can't think of what that is, but normally they have huge leaves, so I kind of like how it came back. This is the Strangler fig from Matt Brennan, looking healthy and happy. I just pruned, this one up front is a poinsettia. The one in back is a jade. I got a bunch of jades cuttings just kind of drying out because like I said, people like the jade cuttings, so I am going to create a bunch of bonsais for next year. And it'll probably take that long to get a root base on them. That's a baby. This is the mama. Got really thick this year. Looking so good in my opinion. Oh, and this is my only ever Delonix Regia from a cutting. So that's kind of leaning out of the monster pot nicely with some bamboo and Italian fruiting fig and some cacti in there. A lot of fun. Okay, here we go. What are you doing? You try to escape? Alright, so you gotta excuse the toddler mess, but like I said, she is a terror. So this is the concept I'm rolling with here. Instead of doing like, house plants hanging with weeping setups, this is the blue jack that I pruned very hard this year. I think y'all witnessed that. And I really think it looks very attractive. That height, that size, the hanging, aspect, that might be an issue, but we'll figure it out. Maybe it would be best suited with, more decorative like succulents and cacti. Got some nice ram going on this bad boy. What's this one called, then?
Hoya?
Hoya, yeah, Hoya. Those nice heart-shaped leaves, nice branching, nice little trunk. Probably I would take out that vertical part if I was looking for it to be a bonsai, but it's really just a nice full house plant hanging, so I like that. Yep, with a palm tree from seed, some cuttings, Schefflera and jade. The Cherimoya came in, that's my full-size one. This guy definitely is dying for a pruning. This is the queen of the night. I've heard people say that it blooms a few times a year, but it's known like mystically for blooming one night a year, which is cool. Which it's only done that for me. Here's an avocado with a black locust that I recently pruned back very hard because I brought it inside and there were so many mealy bugs or eggs or whatever growing in every crevice. It was terrible. I just hacked the thing down. And I'm pretty confident it'll come back. Like a hanging chili pepper. The king palm came in, king sago palm. A little palm tree. So you see, it's basically the same layout, just more protected from Stella the Terror. You see, Stella was here. It's like finding animal scat. There was a bobcat here. So these are going to spend their first year in her nursery. Those are pineapple guava, nice little pineapple guava forest, which took a little scale hit and I don't know, maybe temperature shock towards the end of the season. So I'm going to see if these things unroll. I don't know why they did that. I'm going to see if it kicks off new growth, what it's doing. I might have to do I'll do like a fertilization, and then a week later I'll probably defoliate and do a little pruning if it doesn't sharpen up, because it's a really attractive little planting. See, it's easy to do these in hanging plants. I don't know how easy it's going to be to do bonsai. But we're battling a 15-month-old people. So I have pencil cactus here with some bamboo, and behind them I have 3 blue jacks. And these guys have just stayed skinny. They grow long and skinny. They have no character. I'm just trying to be patient with them. Prune this succulent back. This is from Stella's little baby shower. So we got a bunch of little plants. Like, that's what I needed at the time, but whatever, it was nice of them. So here, it's more like a regular pot, but you see how the shui comes up, straight up, and then goes off to the right and comes up, that nice little wave? Well, look at my tree. So I felt like it followed that shape naturally, and it has already grown up to the ceiling twice. So I took it down hard this time, repotted it very recently, and left this one branch. So I'm hoping for some nice, oh, yep, already getting some back budding. Love these things. Boom, boom. So when those start kicking out, I'll probably trim off these two little branches here, or these two leaves here, because that's actually a whole leaf, and then leave this branch to ramify. So yeah, so that's the update from outside and inside. So let's get the yarned freak of a Delonix Regia out and fix that. Stand by. All right, so here we go. So here's the disaster. Good news is that the tree survived. I wasn't sure for a moment. When the tip here died off, I was like, uh-oh, I bent it too much, and that's gonna be it for this little guy. See, I kind of like, I don't know what I did. I don't know what Sue meant. I still don't know. But, you know, if you're new to bonsai or been in bonsai for a while and have been avoiding wiring, that's me. So this is, you know, kind of like, I don't know, sticking my toe in the water, per se. I have it. So I wrapped it around the trunk a bunch. This was just a terrible idea. I know it was like a test, and this would be in the fail column. But it's fun to experiment. If you're just growing plants or just getting into bonsai or just growing weed, whatever, like, I really feel like that's the fun part. Trying new stuff, because I like to come up with concepts and ideas that haven't been done that actually work, and it's like, ah, well, it was my idea, you know. So, the majority of the time it just doesn't work, and I should listen to other people. So this is all dead. Whether you can see what I was trying to do or not, it doesn't really matter, because it didn't work, and it didn't look good when I first did it. So what do you expect? So here we are. Looks like a little palm tree, comes straight up, very little character, right turn, not fun, not natural, doesn't look good. And here we have a nice little canopy. So, you know, if you're using your scissors, you want to just nip the new growth off. I'm going to pluck it off just because I've been nipping tips this year, and I've really enjoyed the results. A little piece of coral. So I nip the tip. Probably will get some new kickoff, hopefully something nice and down low, and then I'll probably prune these off. This one stayed indoors year round. It did not make its way outside. So yeah, pretty sure that's it, y'all. I think we are all caught up. We saw this disaster. I talked about what I sold, where I've been. We have T-Mobile now. If you're a veteran in the US, they have outstanding deals for veterans right now. And yeah, now we have Liverpool coming on against the Rangers. Little UEFA Champions League. So I'm going to edit this video, and just happy to be back, y'all. So hope everybody's been well. If you didn't even notice I was gone, is what it is. But I have been phoneless for 10 days, and I gotta tell you, the deprogramming, de-stressing, and devolving, getting away from, you know, technology and stuff was a lot of fun. Did a lot of hikes, worked on a lot of trees, just kind of did my thing. But it is good to be back with the real world, catching up with good friends that I talk with on the norms. So anyways, if you haven't taken any time for yourself or yourself with your family lately, screw it. Life's too short. You can make money another time. You can do work another time. Just go ahead, have some fun, because winter's coming, y'all. I'm Jared Paul from the ranch, and from my family to yours, cheers.